So hello and welcome to the Integrative Health Convention 2018 online interviews. Today we are going to find out more about Pranic Healing and Mark Willis, who is speaking at the Integrative Health Convention this October. The Integrative Health Convention is an annual convention in London featuring many leaders in their fields of complementary and conventional medical therapies to help people get better through various healing practices. It's an opportunity for doctors and therapists and the public to meet, share, learn, and connect with each other. We believe that true health is holistic and that people get better in more than just one way. We believe that we have all so much to learn from each other and that the Integrative Health Convention provides a stage for this, for therapists, doctors, and the public. There are a limited number of tickets which can be purchased at integrativehealthconvention.co.uk, the link which I'll place below. This series of online interviews will help you get to know our speakers who are leaders in their different fields of health and healing and medicine, and maybe help you decide which talk to attend out of the 36 talks to choose from over 2 days at the Integrative Health Convention 2018, which is being held at the Park Plaza Victoria in London. I am your host, Wong. I'm a medical doctor and GP for the last 12 years in Devon, and I'm co-founder of Neurolinguistic Healthcare Limited, the organizers of the Integrative Health Convention. Neurolinguistic Healthcare provides courses in advanced communication skills and therapeutic techniques, as well as training in hypnosis for healthcare providers. So today I'm speaking to one of our excellent speakers who's coming to the 2018 Integrative Health Convention to share with you what he knows and to tell us a little bit about who he is and what he does and what to expect from his talk at the convention. So this is Mark Willis. Hi, Mark.
Afternoon, how are you? Good.
So Mark is a pranic healing practitioner with the Institute of Pranic Healing UK and Ireland. He has a practice in Reading and in Euston in London. So Mark, should we begin by telling the audience a little bit more about yourself, maybe what I didn't cover?
Yeah, well, I've been a pranic healer since 2005. It's helped me tremendously in my life, and as a result of the benefits of it helping me, I chose to pursue it as a career to help other people. If you'd have told me 11 years ago when I first started this that I'd be doing this full time, I would never have believed you. I was quite skeptical in my approach at first, but with what I learned and analyze and experiment all that I was taught, it's had a tremendous impact on me and also on many other people.
So what exactly is pranic healing?
Well, prana is the Sanskrit term for energy, so it's energy healing. So we live in a sea of energy. So we have a physical body, obviously, as we can see, feel and touch, but we also have an energetic anatomy, which is the blueprint for the physical body. So pranic healing works on the basis that if you help the energetic anatomy, that will therefore have an effect on the physical. So it can help with many areas of people's lives, physically, mentally, and also emotionally.
See, I'm always curious to what brings someone to be interested in their field, in health, in healing. Can you tell me how you got interested in what you do and the story behind how you started doing what you do now?
Absolutely. So for me, it was a necessity, really. I was diagnosed with a rare sleep disorder when I was age 16 called Klein-Levin syndrome. So up until that point, I was very, very healthy, in a happy family, doing well at school. Everything was going very, very well for me. So I was diagnosed with this in, I can't remember what year, but I was 16 years old. And what it meant was, as I was told by the doctors, a chemical imbalance in the back of the brain affected how I sleep and how I ate. So I would sleep for literally weeks, days, sometimes even months at a time. So absolutely, like I just switched off completely. Now this went on for many, many years, for weeks, months at a time. But when I was well, I was absolutely well. It was absolutely fine. It was almost like a Jekyll and Hyde thing. So as you can imagine, obviously that had a tremendous impact on my life at that time. I couldn't go to school. There was a period during this time of about 5 years when I couldn't work at all because I was sleeping for about every 5 days of every week with no real rhyme or reason. So I had tried many different approaches through traditional medicine, right up to lithium in terms of trying that, but nothing really seemed to work, and I just had resistance to trying something that would, you know, affect my brain chemistry that much when no one really knew what was going on with it anyway. So I also at that time embarked upon a series of other treatments using other complementary therapies. And it was when I discovered Pranic Healing that things really started to make a difference. I started to get more of an understanding about what was going on, and things really started to change then. So that's what got me into it. You know, I think when everything's going right, you know, with yourself, you don't really need to look outside of the parameters of what you know or what you've been taught. But when things that you've been taught and know don't seem to be having an effect, it encourages you to keep more of an open mind. And that's what I did, and that's how I found Pranic Healing, and that's why I do what I do now.
And thank you, that's fascinating. In October, you're going to, at the Park Plaza, you're going to talk to us about Pranic Healing, and I'm still not quite sure what it is. So can you tell us more about what the talk is going to be about and what the audience will get out of it?
Absolutely. So what we're going to talk about is learning how to clean or remove stress energy from yourself in about 10 minutes. So I'm going to show you and share with you some simple techniques to remove stress from the body. Now, we hear the word stress all the time. We hear about it all the time. But what actually is it? Have we ever really stopped to think about what it actually is? Now, it is actually an energy which we hold within us. So if we think about it, and these are all techniques taught by the founder, Grandmaster Chokok Sui. So we have a system of energy centers within the body, which are motors, which power the physical body and also have an effect on us physically, emotionally, and also mentally. Now, these are called chakras, which if you see behind me, there's a picture of those. Now, getting an understanding of how these work, you can get a greater understanding of how the body is feeling and how it affects us also, how we're thinking as well. So the body has an innate ability to heal itself. We know that. If we get a cut, if we get a bruise, if we get a cough, a cold, the body will heal itself. Now, the integrating factor to that is energy, or life's force, or life's energy. So once you can get an understanding of the hidden laws of nature and how you can use the hidden laws of nature to remove certain blockages within these energy centers, which cause certain stresses within the body, physically and mentally, you can harness and utilize them to feel better, reduce stress, increase your well-being, achieve calmness, and also clarity of mind and focus.
And the delegates will learn how to do that.
That's right.
On the day. Wonderful. Mark, just out of curiosity, how long did it take when you had the Pranic Healing for it to make a difference to you?
It made a difference immediately to a degree of I got a greater understanding of what was going on with me. Before that, I just knew that it was a chemical imbalance in the back of the brain, which didn't really help me. I was very lucky. I got a diagnosis very early on, which is a blessing in itself because you know what you're working with. But that was it. So once I got an understanding of how what I was thinking was affecting how I was feeling, and then got an understanding of how I could use certain techniques to change those things, that's what made the big difference for me.
And so are you better now?
Yes, yeah. You know, with the help and of my teacher, so the founder, Master Cho, and my teacher who taught me all these techniques, Les Flickroft, who's the director of the Institute of Pranic Healing UK and Ireland. I'm living a happy, healthy, productive life, and I was told that would probably never happen. So I am very fortunate, and I owe all in my belief to Pranic Healing, the tools and techniques, and the help, the guidance, and the nurturing I've received. So I'm very, very lucky. That's
fascinating. And how long? Because we were talking a bit earlier, and I've watched Master Chua on some YouTube videos, and I saw in a matter of I think it was quite a few minutes, half an hour or so, that he completely cured this person's back pain on the video anyway, and she couldn't bend it, and she could. How long did it take for you to see an effect on yourself?
On myself, I think it was a couple of months. Yeah, I think it was a couple of months. Yeah, I believe it was a couple of months, and then things started just to get better systematically. Just I get better and better each time I had a healing, because then I was changing my thoughts around the predicament I found myself in, and that had a big difference as well. So it's very quick. It's not, I would say now, it's not a quick fix. If you've been suffering from an ailment or a condition for a long time, what you have to do, you have to get an understanding of the mechanism of the body. So the energy centers they're like energy muscles. So if you go to the gym once, it'll have a small change on the muscle, but if you go to the gym for a sustained period of time, that muscle will get stronger. It'll be able to do more for you. It's the same with the energy centers. So these things take time. So if a patient presents themselves to me with a certain condition, we always would say a minimum of 3 treatments to get things started. You can never say how long something will take precisely, because you can't be responsible for what that person is doing outside of the treatments. But it can be very quick. Yeah, it can be very quick.
And how long is a treatment?
A treatment normally lasts about 45 minutes. Yeah, depending on the treatment. It's very systematic. I mentioned earlier, it's more of a science than an art, because it's based on principles, mechanisms, techniques, and applications. So for every ailment that will be presented, now that could be physical, that could be emotional, there'll be a step-by-step protocol to follow, which was exhaustively researched over a 40-year period by Master Choa before he brought Pranic Healing to the public eye in 1987, to make sure that A, it was effective, but also it was safe for the person to experience.
The reason I'm asking you so many questions is because it's still a relatively new healing modality. Hasn't quite gained a huge popularity as yet, but I'm sure it is growing.
That's right.
In this country. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's great. I mean, the more questions, the better. I was always encouraged when I first started and taught by my teacher, Les Flickroft, that never believe anything blindly. You're always encouraged within the Pranic Healing system to analyze, experiment, and then draw your own conclusion, which really appealed to me, not just with regard to Pranic Healing, but with regard to everything in life.
Which is why it's so important for all the delegates to experience it and then draw their own conclusions.
Absolutely.
So having thought about the Integrative Health Convention, where the audience will be made up of doctors, therapists, and the public, where do you see your particular practice fitting in with integrative health? How does Pranic Healing fit in with integrative health? Perhaps some would call it holistic health.
Yeah, well, Pranic Healing is a complementary therapy. So it's to complement and enhance what is already being done. So there are many doctors, nurses, counselors, psychotherapists that have learned the Pranic Healing skills, and they integrate them with the great work that they are doing already. Master Choa's vision, as it were, was to have a Pranic healer in every household. So if everyone can understand the hidden laws of nature, you can help your friends, your family. You can also learn how to do it for yourself. So we are very fortunate. We're working at the moment with the Royal Brompton Hospital, Harefield Hospital, St Mary's. So we're looking to get it into the medical establishment, the educational establishment, the military, because it can help enhance everyone, really. Master Choa basically was a master of energy and looked at every area in people's lives where they were suffering, and used energetic approaches to help, to some degree, alleviate their suffering. So the short answer would be hopefully everywhere.
So a therapy session would involve the therapist, the Pranic Healing therapist, practitioner, practicing it and doing it on the patient. But does it involve, from what you said, does it involve some sort of education as well of the patient?
Does it say that again? I'm sorry, I didn't
quite
understand the question.
Education of the patient. Does the therapy also involve a patient component? Do you have to, because you obviously understood it, and they must have explained it to you as part of the therapy as well, to understand where the problem's coming from.
That's right. Well, with Pranic Healing, we're not doctors, so we cannot diagnose. But many of the patients will come in with certain illnesses or conditions. Now, once you learn how to scan, which is being able to feel the energy radiating from the energy centers, they will give an indication of what's going on with the body. So the body is always giving signals, isn't it? It's always telling a story. If someone's not feeling very well, you can pick up on that, even if they say they're feeling well, because we're transferring energy all the time. So once you get an understanding of how to scan these energy centers, you can really help the person. But as I say, you cannot diagnose because you're not medically trained as a pranic healer.
Of course, of course. No, that's interesting. I was just trying to, yeah, it's because it's so unique. I was trying to figure out what it's all about, and I think I've got a reasonable idea now. I have one particular extra question. So, as a therapist or and a teacher with years of experience, what do you think in particular is the key to healing in what you do? So I'm looking for something personal as to what you think it is that you do that makes the most difference.
What I try to do, as I was always taught, is to follow the simple instructions. So as I mentioned before, Pranic Healing is very systematic. So you follow the protocol. You encourage the patient to see where they want to be as opposed to where they are. A lot of the time, many of our physical conditions are a result of our thoughts and emotions around that condition. So I follow the simple instructions as I was taught. I follow the protocol step by step. And then I encourage the person to basically, as I say, validate it, experiment, draw their own conclusions, but then start to think about where they want to be as opposed to where they have been or where they don't want to be. I think it's so easy for us nowadays to, if you speak to someone and say, how are you? The majority of people, if you listen, will say not bad. It doesn't really make sense because it's, you're feeding with energy a certain thought that is not necessarily what you want. So I always encourage people to be positive of their condition and where they want to get to, and then follow what I've been taught to help them get to that point.
Wonderful. Thank you. That's great. Thanks a lot, Mark. And thank you for taking the time to listen to this interview and choosing this one from all the others out there. So remember to get your tickets early now from our website, and it's integrativehealthconvention.co.uk. You can follow the links below. And we are the Integrative Health Convention in London on the 13th and 14th of October 2018. You can use discount code podcast10, which will give you a 10% discount as a gift from us to you for sharing your time with us. I hope to attend Mark's talk, but there are 36 different talks over 2 days to choose from. It's 6 hours of learning, 6 different talks each day for everyone to attend. It's going to be amazing. So when we see you in October in London, our speakers will be sharing so much more with you then. You'll get to see Mark in person, myself, and all our other speakers, and we'll see you there.